Evening, CJ Math students. So I'm going to help you out with homework 2.11, applying integer concepts to word problems, somewhat similar like what we were working with today in math class. So, number one, at 7 a.m., the temperature was negative 8 degrees. Between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m., the temperature dropped by 2 degrees. So let's start that off as saying, hey, we start out at negative 8, we dropped by 2 degrees, right? Dropping 2 degrees would be negative. Between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m., the temperature increased by 4 degrees, so plus 4. And between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m., the temperature increased by 12 degrees, so plus 12. What is the temperature at 10 a.m.? So all these numbers in here, 8 a.m., 7 a.m., all that stuff, they basically just want you to find the change in temperature. So first of all, let's KCC, keep, change, because we had a minus sign. And now let's recognize, all right, I've got SSAK here. That's negative 10, negative 8 plus negative 2. And I got SSAK here, which is 4 plus 12, which is 16. Now I have a DSSL problem, though, in negative 10 plus 6. So the total change in temperature should be 16 minus 10, which is positive 6. It's positive because I had more positives than I did negatives. So 6 degrees. Right? Number 3. The chart below shows the monthly profits of a company named Ice Cream Delights. Over a 3-month span, what was the company's profit? So we're going to add up all these numbers. In January, they made $1,000. In February, they made $500. And in March, they had a rough March. They lost $2,500. So KCC. So let's go ahead and keep, change. And let's recognize that this is SSAK at $1,500, and then this becomes a DSSL problem altogether. 1,500 plus negative 2,500, subtract 2,500 minus 1,500. Basically, in your head, you're just doing 25 minus 15. Should give you negative 1,000, right? Just add the 2 zeros on at the end. But I should probably put it in units, so let's go ahead and say negative $1,000. Right. Number 5, a nuclear submarine is submerged 845 feet below the surface. Submerged means it's underneath, so negative 845. Suddenly, the submarine descends 50 feet, so it's going down 50 feet. An hour later, the submarine ascends, going up 260 feet. What is the new position of the submarine after ascending 260 feet? So this is not saying another plus 260. It's just saying, all right, after it did this, what's the new position? So first KCC. We have got an SSAK problem right here that I could add up to equal negative 895 plus 260. That's DSSL. So let's do that off to the side. 895 minus 260. 5 minus 0 is not 0, it's 5, 3, 6. So 635 feet equals negative 635 feet. Or you could also say 635 feet below sea level. Now, why can I say that this one is positive and this one's negative? Well, saying negative 635 feet is the same thing as saying 635 feet below sea level, because this below sea level is just the words that mean negative, right? You wouldn't say negative 635 feet below sea level. That would be redundant. Number 7, if the balance in your checking account is $25, so you have 25, sorry, I meant to underline that. What would your balance be if you wrote a check for $72? Writing a check is you losing money, right? You're giving money away. So plus a negative, this is DSSL. 72 minus 25, I end up borrowing here, and we get 47. But remember, I had more negatives, so my answer should be negative $47. It wouldn't be good to have your bank account go into the negative. You can't write this check. You don't have enough money in your account to cover this check, right? Number 9, Marilyn went on a game show. At one point, she had a total of 1,200 points, so she's in the positive. She's doing well. Marilyn chose a question worth 2,000 points, so she risked it, answered it incorrectly. So that means she's going to lose 2,000, right? When you answer incorrectly on Jeopardy or something like that, you lose all the points. What's your score after losing 2,000? So keep, change, change. This is again DSSL. 2,000 minus 1,200 should give you 800, but remember, you want to keep it negative because you had more negative, so negative 800 points. Not doing too good. Number 11, liquid nitrogen boils at a very low temperature of about negative 321. The boiling point of water is 212, so plus 212. No, sorry, I'm not going to want to do that because I got to read the question further. What is the difference between the boiling points of water and liquid nitrogen? Thank you for making sure I read the question. So that's minus 212 because it asks for the difference, the change, right? So I need to KCC, so keep, change, change. And when I add 321 and 212 together, because it's an SSAK problem, I get 533, and some of you might say, all right, negative 533. However, there's no such thing as the change is negative 533 degrees, right? No, the distance between 10 and negative 10 on the number line is 20 spaces, right? We're going to use the absolute value here because we're looking for the difference in a vertical distance, right? Here's negative 321 down here, here's 0, and then here's 212 up here. What's the whole distance? Well, this is 212, right? And this is 321. So the absolute value of 533 is going to be our answer. It's going to be a difference of 533 degrees. So 533 degree difference. Right, number 13. The temperature at 7 was negative 12 degrees Fahrenheit. 6 hours later, the temperature was 19 degrees warmer, so plus 19. What was the temperature 6 hours later? This is pretty simple. DSSL, 19 minus 12 gives us 7, stays positive because I had more positives, so 7 degrees Fahrenheit was the temperature. All right, I'm going to do actually 15 through 17 because these problems are exactly like 18 through 19. So same process, but just different numbers. Ames Web stuff, right? So keep, change, change, leave that alone. So this right here is an SSAK problem. It gives you negative 14 plus negative 27 is negative 41 plus 27. This then is a DSSL problem. I'll write that off to the side. DSSL 41 minus 27 gives me, after I borrow and everything like that, gives me an answer of 14, but I know it's negative because I had more negatives, negative 14. Now there's another way you could have done this problem, and maybe right off the bat you could have realized, hey, I have negative 27 and I have positive 27, and I could have actually made that to be 0 and then said, oh, I just have negative 14 left, and that's how I got my answer of negative 14. That's another way. Number 16, notice they're all negatives, no minus sign, so SSAK, add them all up. Negative 5 plus negative 11 is negative 16. Negative 16 plus negative 13 gives you your answer of negative 29. And number 17, so keep, change, change, keep it, change it, change it. So we've got, let's rewrite it, negative 8 plus 4 plus 9. So this is SSAK, I'll say that's 13 plus negative 8. And then this turns out to be DSSL. Negative 8 plus 13 is positive 5 because I had more positives. Why? Because I subtract 13 minus 8 because they're different signs. I keep the sign of larger number, the one we have more of, and that's 13. So again, 18, 19, and 20 are exactly like those problems with just different numbers. So follow kind of the similar process to those. Remember to label it DSSL or SSAK. Remember when you see minus signs, you need to do two things. So there's no such thing as just taking a minus sign and saying it's a plus sign. No, it's either plus a negative or plus a positive. So you got to do two things. All right, thanks. Call me if you have questions.